So hopefully next week I'll have some interesting things to show you. All right. So just taking time today to really listen to our bodies, moving gently with them, not pushing or overdoing too much, and noticing what arises in our thoughts as we move through our practice. And sometimes we just try to like push away our thoughts, but I think it's also interesting to see what comes up and maybe what different things come up with different postures and listening to what our bodies are telling us. So let's begin with rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing our focus and energy into the palms. And then take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or gazing softly downward. Extend the spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another deep breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, contracting and relaxing. With your next inhale, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding the lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. If you'd like, you can engage the breath to support your grounding as you continue this full deep breath. Exhaling, rooting down through the sitting bones into the earth. Inhale, drawing up energy from the earth. Breathing it up the spine through all the chakras, all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhaling down to the heart. Inhaling up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, clearing the chakras as you go down the spine to the tailbone, sitting bones, releasing to the earth. Inhale, breathing all the way up the spine. Exhale to the heart. Inhale to the crown of the head. And exhale, clearing the chakras as the breath flows down and out into the earth. Allowing Mother Earth to recycle anything that is no longer needed. One more full, complete breath. And at the end of your exhale, gently return to your natural breath. Taking a moment to notice any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. Bringing your awareness to your right hand, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. And bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward toward your heart. Looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down, gently open your eyes. If you have a strap or a sleeve or a sock nearby, we'll use that too. I'm just going to grab mine from over here real fast. I forgot to put it by my mat. And you can just kind of have that nearby. If you wanted to switch your legs, I don't remember if I said that already or not, or change positions, please do that as well also. All right, and with your next inhale, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. Exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze, wringing out that tension. Exhale, back and down. Bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulder blades back and down, noticing if one is tighter or looser than the other, trying to balance the strength between the two. And then gently pressing the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart. Gently squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. And opening the arms wide, turning the palms up, lifting the heart a little more. Draw the lower corners of the shoulder blades down toward each other. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. Breathe into the heart. Often we round our shoulders to protect the heart. We may not even notice we're doing it, but tuning into our bodies, we can see if that's happening. Noticing what we need to release and let go of as we hold with our heart open. Releasing any anger, worries, disappointment, resentment. Really letting our hearts soften. Allowing ourselves to feel maybe the things that we've been struggling to feel. When you're ready, gently bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Lifting the elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen the back of the neck by gently drawing the chin toward the throat. You can squeeze the arms together or push the elbows away. And let's breathe into the upper back and into the back of the heart. Creating space with each breath. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows with the breath. And if it feels okay with your next inhaling breath, lift the elbows a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, round the spine, drop the chin, being careful of the low back, letting the weight of the arms open the upper back a little more. See if you can allow the breath to help expand and release tension through the upper back. And with our next inhales, come back to the center. We'll unwrap the arms, open wide again, pressing through the palms. Notice if anything feels different. Breathing into the heart, see if you can stretch and open a little more. Tucking the lower corners of the shoulder blades down. And bringing the arms in front, left over the right. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, softening the shoulders down away from the ears. Lengthen the back of the neck by drawing the chin toward the throat. Squeezing the arms together or pushing the elbows away, breathing into the upper back. Letting it soften. Trusting that in this moment, you can let go, even if it's just a little. Trusting yourself that you can hold whatever is released. If it feels okay, you can begin lowering and lifting with the breath. And then with the next inhale, if it feels okay, lift a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the chin, be careful of the low back. Breathing into the upper back and the back of the heart. Creating a little more space. And with your next inhale, come back to center. Let's unwrap the arms, extend them out. We'll rotate the wrists, making circles, warming them up a little more. And reversing the circles. Then we'll bring the hands together at the heart, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, round the spine, drop the chin. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the palms up and gently drop the chin toward the chest. Softening the elbows, rolling the shoulder blades back toward each other, squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades together, wringing out any tension. Softening through the back of the neck a little more if it feels okay, making sure the jaw is soft as well. And if it feels okay, you could press those palms a little higher. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, float the hands down. Let's take the strap in our right hand and we'll bring that over the right shoulder. kind of patting yourself on the back. We'll take the left hand, bending that elbow behind us, and then taking hold of the strap. You can work your fingers toward each other as far as feels okay. If it feels okay to curl the fingers together, you can do that as well. Once you find that comfortable place, lift the chin, soften the shoulders. Notice where you can let go and release gently in the pose. One more breath. And with the exhale, we'll release. And roll the shoulders. Just kind of notice how they're feeling. And we'll bring the strap to the left hand, bringing that left hand to pat ourselves on the back. Right arm bends behind us, taking hold of the strap, working the hands toward each other as close as feels comfortable. And if your fingertips can reach and it feels okay, you can curl those fingertips together. Lifting the heart, gently pulling the chin back toward the throat. Soften the hips down into the mat. And take a couple of breaths. One more breath. And with the exhale, release. Again, rolling the shoulders, just kind of noticing how they feel. Let's extend our legs in front of us. We'll work with a full twist today. You could stay on your blanket or come off of it. Excuse me. So we'll start with bending the right leg, bringing it in toward the chest. Spine is tall, shoulders back and down. You could stay here, or if it feels okay, put the left foot on the outside of the right knee. Nope, that is not right. It's the right foot on the outside of the left knee. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, bringing the left foot by the right hip. Let's clear that aura space. We're going to sweep the right arm out and plant it behind us. Lifting the spine, left arm extends in front of us. You can either wrap it around the leg, hugging the knee in toward the chest, or you can bring the arm on the outside of the thigh. Hand can be down or up or at the heart. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, from the base of the spine, gently twist. Head comes around last. Really twisting through the ribs. Lifting the heart with the inhale. Twisting gently with the exhale. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Let's work with cow face forward pose for a moment. So we'll stack the left knee on top of the right. You can also, if that doesn't feel good, right, you can also keep that foot on the floor. You could also extend the left leg, having the right knee bent across the top of that. And another option that can help support as well is putting a block or blankets under both legs, or if one leg is higher, putting it under the between the legs. So finding a support that feels right for you today. We'll start with the spine up tall, letting the sitting bones sink into the floor. And with your next exhale, hinging at the hips, walk the hands forward, lengthening through the spine, letting the ribs come toward the thighs. And if it feels okay, you can soften the upper body around the legs, dropping the head. Listening to your body, going forward only as far as feels okay. Noticing where you're holding on, where you can let go, even just around the edges. With your next inhale, lift the spine up tall. Let's unwrap the legs, shake them out a little. And then we'll work with the other side, bending the left knee in toward the chest. And you could be on your blanket if that feels supportive. You can stay there or bring the left foot on the outside of the right knee. You can stay there or bring the right foot by the left hip. Extending the left arm in front, we'll sweep out our aura on that left side, planting the left hand behind the hip, lifting the spine tall. Right arm reaches out in front, either wrapping around the leg or coming on the outside of the thigh, hand down, up, or at the heart. Facing forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the left. Head comes around last. Lifting the heart with each inhale. Twisting gently through the ribs with each exhale. With your next inhale, we'll come back to the center. And let the breath go. And we'll move into cow face pose. Again, stacking the left knee on top of the right, if that feels okay. You can also keep that left foot on the floor or add blanket or block support under one or both knees, depending on what your body needs today. Often it's also different from one side to the other. Lengthening the spine, softening down through the hips. Inhale, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinging at the hips and gently folding forward. Just as far as feels okay. Letting the ribs come toward the thighs. Breathing into those outer hips. And if it feels okay for your back and neck, letting the body fold over the legs and dropping the head. And noticing where you're holding on, and gently letting go. With the next inhale, extend the spine out and up. And we'll unwrap those legs, shaking them out. And let's flex the feet, lengthening the spine, shoulders back and down. Belly muscles draw toward the back. We'll engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up, lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay. I notice my toes like to roll out because my outer quads are a little stronger. So noticing what yours are doing, trying to have the toes pointing up and the inner and outer quads engaging equally. Also notice if your shoulders have scrunched up by your ears and let them soften down the back. And soften the knee or the legs. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward just as far as feels okay. Hands on the legs, floor, or feet. Lengthen through the spine. Soften on the exhale. Following your breath, lengthening and softening. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the hands behind the hips, bending the legs, feet hip width apart, bending the elbows, coming into reverse table. With your next inhale, press into the feet, lifting the hips up high. Exhale, soften and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, hovering if that feels okay. Inhale, lift. And hold and breathe if that feels okay. Really pressing those shoulders back. Elbows stay bent, hips lift high. Head extends out from the spine or tucks toward the chest. Pressing high with the hips. If it feels okay, you can press into your left foot and extend your right leg out. And listening to your body, planting that right foot and extending the left foot out. Keeping the hips high, elbows soft. Lowering that left leg, lowering the hips, and shaking out those wrists. Let's come on to our knees in the center of the mat. And we'll extend the right leg out to the side. Right hand rests on the right leg. Left hip stacks over the left hip for gate pose. With your next inhale, we'll reach the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, we'll reach across the right leg. So reaching toward the leg. There you go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reach. Hold and breathe. Pressing that left knee into the mat. Reaching through the fingertips. Opening the left side of the body. With the next inhale, lift up tall. Let's float that left hand down to the mat. You can use a block or something if that feels better. And we're going to reach the right arm over the ear and back gently. So we're having a little bit of an arch here, reaching and opening the right side of the body. Then we're going to lift that right arm straight up toward the sky and lift the right leg out to the side in a modified half moon. Tuck your shoulders, lift your heart, left elbow slightly bent. And then we'll lower that arm and leg back to the ground. Just taking a moment to notice how the right and the left sides of the body feel the same or different. And let's extend the left leg out to the side. Left hand resting on the leg. Right hip stacked over the right knee. We'll inhale the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across toward the leg. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Hold and breathe, pressing into that right knee, lifting the heart and reaching through the fingertips of the right hand. Breathing into the right side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll float the right hand to the mat or onto the floor or block. And then we're going to sweep that left arm over the left ear, reaching through the fingertips, and then pull back a little, gently arching and opening the chest a little. Breathing into the left side of the body. We'll sweep the left arm to float straight up out of the shoulder, and then lift the left leg coming into a modified half moon. Tuck the shoulders, lengthen through the spine, reaching through the heel. And then we'll gently lower the knee down, lower the arm, coming back to the center. Let's work with Camel Pose a little here. So if you would like to use blocks for support, you can place the blocks on the outside of the ankles. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. You can also have the feet, toes flat, or tucking the toes under so that it's a little easier to reach those. So either the toes tucked under or blocks. So we'll start with just warming up our low backs a little bit more. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually have us do a little cat-cow first. Let's come onto our hands and knees. All of a sudden, I realized that was gonna be way too intense for our backs without a little more warm-up. So softening the elbows, head extends out, tucking the shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. We're getting as much movement through the spine as feels okay right now. Do one more breath. And with your next inhale, Now coming back to table. And then we'll lift back up onto our knees and kneeling. We'll start with our hands at the low back for our camel variations, rolling those shoulders back toward each other, lifting the heart, rooting into the knees, having them stacked underneath the hips. Take a deep breath in, lifting the heart up and back over the hands. As you exhale, lift up tall. Inhale, extending up and back. Exhale, lift up tall. So you can continue using that as your variation. If it feels okay, you could also work with either, again, the toes tucked under or feet flat or a block with reaching back with one arm on the block or foot, the other arm toward the sky, and then switching. And if that is feeling pretty good, then you can work on reaching back with both hands. Again, the hands can come toward the heel with the toes tucked under. They can rest on a block, or you can have the toes flat and reaching back, whatever feels most accessible for you today. So when you're ready, you could reach back with both hands, lifting the heart, reaching back with the head, pressing forward with the hips. So do whatever variation feels right for you. You can continue moving in and out. You can hold and breathe, listening to what your body needs right now. Breathing into the heart, pressing the hips forward, engaging the glutes to protect the low back. And when you're ready, lifting the arms to help you lift forward, coming into child's pose or into reclined puppy. If that feels better for your knees. Resting the forehead on the mat. Breathing into the spine. Creating space between the vertebrae. We're letting the weight of the body release to the earth. And breathing up energy from the earth into the body. And bring the hands under the shoulders, rolling the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last, shoulders back and down. And let's take hold of our straps. And we're going to make them nice and wide so they're wider than shoulder width apart. And you're going to adjust this however works for your body. We'll start with the arms down. We'll inhale the arms up over the head. And then exhale, letting the arms drop back. So stretch those arms out on the strap as far as needed to allow that to be safe and gentle for your shoulders today. Inhale, lifting back up tall. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dropping back, opening the shoulders. Inhale, lifting up over the head. Exhale, dropping in front. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop behind you. Inhale, lift. And this time we're going to, instead of dropping in front, we'll reach to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach to the left. Inhale, center. Inhale, right. Exhale, sorry. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. And inhale, center. And then we'll lower that down. And we'll come down onto our bellies. And we're going to reach our arms out at a T. And we're going to work on opening the shoulders, the front of the shoulders a little more. So listen to your body and only go as far into the pose as feels comfortable. There are lots of options along the way. So we'll start with placing the left hand by the left shoulder. And we're going to gently roll toward the right side of the mat. So we're going to roll onto the right side of the body with our right arm behind us. If it feels okay, you could drop the head toward the mat. And you can stay in this position if this feels like enough stretching and opening of the front of that shoulder for you. You could also, if it feels okay, you could bend the left leg, placing the foot on the floor. If it feels okay, you could bend the right leg, shifting the hip a little, rotating a little more. You're going to feel a little more intensity in that right shoulder. So you can stay here. If it feels okay, you could reach the left hand back toward the right. And if it feels okay, you could interlace those fingers, reaching back behind you. Please don't go into any pain. Only go as far as feels safe for your body today. Breathing into that right shoulder. Listening to what it has to tell you today. One more breath. Let's bring that left hand back to the mat. Extend the right leg out and the left. Coming back onto the belly. We'll bring the hands on top of each other underneath the forehead, resting the forehead down. And take a couple of breaths here. Just letting the body readjust and absorb that release in that pose. And we'll extend the arms out at a T again, resting the forehead or chin on the mat. And bringing the right hand by the right shoulder, we'll roll onto the left side of the body, dropping the head down toward the mat if that feels okay for your neck. Stay here if that feels like enough intensity for your body today. If it feels okay, you could bend the right foot. Bend the right knee, placing the foot on the mat. If it feels okay, you could bend the left leg, placing the foot on the mat, shifting the hips forward a little, adding a little more intensity to the rotation. If it feels okay, you could reach the right arm back toward the left, turning the palm of that left hand up and interlacing the fingers. Pressing the palms together though, not pinching the wrists. Noticing where you can let go. Making sure you're not moving into pain. Remembering to breathe into the belly. And releasing that right hand, bringing it back to the mat. Extending the left leg and the right leg, rolling back onto the belly. Resting one hand on top of the other and bringing the forehead to the hands. Releasing into the floor. We'll bend the knees and gently windshield wiper the feet back and forth. If you'd like, you can also cross and release the legs, noticing what that does for your low back. And lowering the feet down. And bring the hands under the shoulders, pressing up onto the hands and knees. And let's walk the arms out in front. Coming into Reclined Puppy. So dropping the forearms onto the mat, forehead to the mat or onto a block. Hips are stacked over the knees. You can rest here. If it feels okay and doesn't cause any pain, you could lift the head and rest the chin onto the mat. So you're going to notice a little more intensity. You could stay here, or if it feels okay, you can stretch the fingertips out a little bit more, externally rotating the arms so the shoulder blades roll back toward each other. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, pressing the fingertips into the mat, tenting the palms up off of the mat, and then lifting the arms off of the mat, letting the heart come toward the mat as much as feels okay. Again, not going into pain. We'll lower the hands if they're up. Bring the forehead to the mat. And then walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Coming on to the hands and knees. Let's tuck the toes under. Actually, walking the hands out a little more. Let's start with a downward dog. Pressing the hips up and back. Rolling the shoulders back toward each other. Lengthening through the back, softening the knees. Head drops between the arms with the chin gently away from the chest. And as it feels okay, allow the heels to drop down toward the mat. Rooting through the balls of the feet, the palms of the hands. Lifting through the sitting bones. Lengthening the entire back of the body. And then let's walk our hands closer toward the feet. Bending the knees as much as you need to. You can also place blocks underneath the hands so there's somewhere for them to rest, or having the hands on the shins. Dropping the head and releasing the back of the neck. Perhaps wiggling the head from side to side. Letting the spine and the neck lengthen. Letting gravity do the work. Keeping the feet rooted as the spine lengthens down. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up, palms together over the head. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's work with eagle as our balance pose today. So if you would like to use the wall for support, you can have the wall a few inches behind, or be a few inches in front of the wall, so that when you bend your knees, you'll have that support. So we'll find our feet balance on both feet. Spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes, spreading them wide, lowering them down. Shifting the weight to the right leg, no, left leg, sorry. We'll come up to the big toe of the right foot. Finding a focus spot for our gaze, arms out to the side. We'll hinge at the hips and knee, bending those. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, you could lift the right leg over the left. Foot can be in the air on the floor or wrapped around the calf. Stay here or add our eagle arms right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Soften the shoulders down away from the ears, gently squeezing the arms and legs together. And when you're ready, we'll gently release and shake out that left leg. Finding our balance on both feet. Again, spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes and spread them wide as you lower them down. Shifting the weight to the right leg, coming up onto the big toe of the left foot. Hinging at the hips and the knee, finding our focus spot. Arms out to the side for balance. When you're ready, you can lift the left leg over the right, foot in the air, on the floor, or around the calf. Stay here, or if it feels okay, adding the arms left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Hold and breathe. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, gently squeezing the arms and legs together. And then we'll gently unwrap and shake out that leg. And let's spread our legs nice and wide. We'll turn the right foot toward the short end of the mat. Left heel drops back. Hips are open toward the front right of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms out at shoulder height, moving into Trikonasana. Exhale, left hip toward the short end of the mat. Right arm drops toward the other end of the mat, dropping the arm down toward the leg. Left arm can come up in the air or rest at the low back. Rotate the torso, drawing that shoulder back. Lengthen through the spine and root into both feet. If you notice your torso is facing the floor, lift up a little higher so that the torso fit can face the wall. With your next inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, we're going to bend the right leg so the knee stacks over the ankle. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Sweep the arm down and out toward the short end of the mat, reaching through the fingertips. Pinky is pointing down, energetically reaching from the pinky the finger all the way down to the pinky toe. Can stay here. If it feels okay, you could lower the right hand down to the floor or block, turning that torso to face the wall. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, bringing that left hand behind the back and tucking the right arm underneath the leg, coming into the bind. With your next inhale, press into the feet, lifting the spine up tall and floating the hands down. Let's switch the feet. So the left foot points toward the short end of the mat, right heel drops back. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height, Trikonasana. Exhale, right hip presses toward the back of the mat, left arm reaches toward the front, floating that left hand down just as far as feels okay. Right arm either floats out of the shoulder or comes to the low back. Turning the torso to face the wall, lengthening through the spine, coming up a little higher if you feel like your torso is facing the mat. Pushing into both feet, softening through the hamstrings of the left leg, lengthening the spine. With your next inhale, pressing into the feet, lifting up tall and floating the hands down. Let's inhale one more time, arms out. Exhale, bend the left leg, knee stacks over the ankle. Forearm comes to the thigh, and we'll sweep that right arm down and out the front end of the mat. And then rotating the ribs so the torso faces the wall. Reach from the pinky finger to the pinky toe. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you could reach that left hand down toward the floor or the block. And if it feels okay, you could bring that right arm behind the back. And then if it feels okay, left arm tucks under the leg, interlacing the fingers, taking the bind. With your next inhale, gently lift up tall, and we'll float the hands down. Bringing both feet to face the long end of the mat. Inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, swan dive, hips out behind us, floating the hands down underneath the shoulders, softening the knees, lengthening the spine. Pressing into the feet, lift the sitting bones up toward the sky. Gently walk the hands to the right, taking hold of, or having the hands on the floor blocks, or taking hold of the leg, turning the torso to face the thigh, lengthening down over the leg. Right foot pushes into the mat as the left hip reaches up tall. Walking back to the center and across to the left. Hands on the floor, block or leg. Turning the torso to face the thigh, lengthening down over the leg. Left foot pushes into the mat as the right hip lifts up high. Walking back to the center. Let's walk the feet closer toward each other, stopping just outside of hip width apart. Pressing into the feet, we'll drop the hips down, coming into Malasana squat. You can work with a high squat. If you'd like to place a block in the center behind the heels, you can drop the hips down onto the block or down by the heels if that feels okay for your knees. Lengthening through the spine. And if neither of those feels comfortable, you can also come all the way to the mat, walking the feet a little further apart, pressing the elbows into the knees or thighs. And then gently coming the rest of the way down, we'll meet together in cross-legged. Extending the spine up tall, shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, lift the crown of the head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down, breathing into the left side of the neck. If it feels okay, you could place the left hand on the mat, gently walking the fingertips away as you reach the head in the opposite direction. Letting go of anything stuck in the neck. Gently releasing. With your next inhale, gently release the hand and lift the head back to the center. Exhale, the left ear over the left shoulder. Tuck the left shoulder back and down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. And if it feels okay, placing the right hand on the mat, walking the fingers away just as far as feels okay. Sometimes I feel some tension through the front of my shoulder here. So just noticing where you feel any tightness or tension, not going into pain. Sending the breath to wherever that tightness is. Softening around the edges with the exhale. Consciously releasing any of the stress or worries that are stuck in the neck. Imagining them floating away. And with your next inhale, come back to the center, releasing the hand. Exhale, turning your chin over your right shoulder. Hold and breathe. Tuck the shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, the chin over the left shoulder. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart. Hold and breathe. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, drop the chin. Releasing the back of the neck, keeping the chest lifted and the shoulders back and down, even though the head drops forward. With your next inhale, lift the chin and let the breath go. Let's bend the knees in front of us. If you'd like to slip your socks on or anything as we prepare the relaxation, you can do that. First we'll do Viparita Karani, rolling back onto our spines, lifting the feet up toward the sky, tucking the shoulders under. You can rock your hands or a block underneath the hips, softening the ankles and the knees, softening through the shoulders, breathing into the belly. And gently lowering the legs, rocking the hands or blocks out from underneath the hips, hugging the knees in toward the chest. You can rock from side to side, massaging the low back. Or if it feels okay, you could draw the knees in and out, making circles with the low back. And if you're making circles, you can reverse those. And if you'd like one last twist, we'll bring the arms out at shoulder height, palms facing down, knees together. On your next exhale, dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left. Gently letting go through the spine. And with your next inhale, Come back to the center. And exhale, lowering the knees to the left, vision to the right. Releasing through the spine. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center, gently lowering the feet down. You can walk your feet out to the edges of the mat, resting the knees together if that feels better. Or you can extend your legs out into Shavasana. You can also add a bolster underneath the knees. And then I encourage you to cover up at least somewhat to keep the warmth in your body. As you're resting, I will be sitting. So if your legs are extended, allow the feet to rest about hip width apart. Arms slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. If you would like to receive Reiki through the rest of the Shavasana practice, please open yourself to receive it now. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness on the breath to each and every cell of your body. Honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Well, thank you all so much for taking time for yourselves today and joining me.
Thank you.